We're live.
I refuse to speak because that's my right. And as American, doing a podcast from my couch, you can't stop me.
Yeah, let's talk about our podcast a little bit. So we've been doing. This is our 34th episode. So I'm personally very proud of ourselves. Being able to continue this, but at the same time, we haven't really gained any audience yet.
But, our brilliant marketing skills, word of mouth, and no posting.
I mean, we're doing our best, in terms of use of social media and, other stuff. I mean, I guess there's no other stuff. I'm sorry. But
social media and then just word of mouth.
Word of mouth?
It comes up a lot. People ask what we do,
right.
Why are you guys here at, at noon?
Yeah, and then I guess what makes our effort a little bit different from others is that we're not really putting in any money, right? So we're
not really
spending any money for marketing, and so it's very slow, man. Honestly, these days a lot of people are doing podcasts, and organic growth is very, very difficult.
Yeah. Right? And a lot of people that are doing podcasts have typically some type of resume behind them, so it incentivizes you to listen to them.
Right.
Like a lot of these, actually, some of these pro climbers now have podcasts, which I'm super stoked about because I would love to garner any insight I could. But, people like you and I, with our backgrounds being the engineering semiconductor department, I don't think there's a large pool of people that are interested in, people like us with that kind of background. But I think that just lends itself to the credibility of why we started this and the value in it, that we were willing to, like we talk about all the time, forsake the normal path to approach it, to approach our lives in a way we want to. And we've been rewarded for it way more than any type of financial status or popularity, I would say, could ever have brought in us. Say we got really popular after episode 10 or something like that, or it caught on, we would not be the same people today as we are now. And I really like the people that we're becoming, and we continually choose to be. And if this does become popular, then we'll have a new set of problems to tackle as far as identity is concerned, right? We always got to be just unapologetically ourselves, like we talked about before. We're always trying to be continually remove these masks, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, it's very hard though. I don't know about you, but for me, it is not that easy actually. I mean, I try to remind myself of that I'm just doing this for fun, and I more than that, maybe more than having fun, but I like to be at least genuine, authentic. But a lot of times sometimes I get nervous, and I'm hesitating because of certain reasons that may cause some, controversial arguments and debates, things like that. So there are a lot of factors that kind of make me hesitate. But I decided not to do that because I really feel like, the best way to really communicate with the people and put out my idea is to be as authentic as I can be, Yeah. So I think that's at least that's the mindset I'm gonna,
it's a great mindset. We were talking about this today at the gym, but we have this unique set of circumstances and experiences as individuals, right? You as your own individual, me as my own individual. And if we just choose to basically, summarize verbatim what other people have said, we're not really giving our own unique, valuable input and insight into the world.
Yeah.
Like all that stuff, all those things those wise men have said, or people that are considered smart by the centuries or the generations or the culture, it's been said.
Yeah.
Do I really need to say it again?
Right.
For them? Like, I want to kind of put my own twist on it, or my own thoughts and my perception into it. Give credit where credit's due, but...
Right. I mean, unless we're presenting their ideas.
Of course. And you can present an idea and say, hey, this is coming from Nietzsche. It's based loosely in that, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you gotta give
no plagiarism,
credit where
basically.
credit's due, for sure. You don't want to be, for lack of a better term, stealing from people.
Right. But also you don't want to like taint it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, more than anything, you don't want to taint it, right? You don't want
Exactly.
somebody to look at you and say, "Oh, fuck, Nietzsche must be an idiot. Look at this guy, this long-haired dude and this
Right.
pink-haired friend."
Yeah. Somebody really already criticized you about your look.
Oh, did they? I missed
Well,
it.
I mean, it was not a valid or criticism, but when we did last episode, religion, some people got really mad, and then he attacked on you, man.
Oh, sorry. I didn't even look. I didn't even see it. I remember somebody said something that van. Or
Yeah, that guy I'm talking
about.
about.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just replied, I have a van. Because I was working on my van.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but
To all
that
the
being
haters
said-
out there, if you want to start a cult, you got to look like a cult leader. So that's
Yeah.
why I'm growing my hair out. I'm just trying to play the part, guys. So
Right.
if you want to come join us in the desert.
And also, our initial vision for this podcast, we just like to have conversation, right? So we don't really need to have that popular form these days for podcasts, the interview, right? But so our initial vision was that, well, we can, make changes to that form down the road. But I don't know if that's going to ever happen. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think we're
I'm not saying that I don't want to. I'm just not sure if that's ever going to happen.
the interviewing, more interviews,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
I think it will. I think we're just currently...
we did already twice.
We did,
Yeah.
and we've got another mic, right, to set it up properly so we can do it a good interview,
Right.
higher quality.
Yeah, I guess more than anything is circumstantial currently.
Yeah.
We don't have studio. I mean, as you can see, we're just doing this on a
Chilling
couch.
on the couch.
It's nothing special. We just blocked the window. Very, this basic lighting, basic camera, basic mics that are decent enough. I mean, we're just doing this with a very minimal, setting.
Yeah, it's extremely crude because we're passionate about it.
Yeah.
We don't need the best and the brightest and the newest tools to express ourselves. This is
Right.
good enough currently. Yeah, if people like it and can see through that, then cool.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll get more money to upgrade these types of things and have more interesting, engaging conversations, hopefully with the listeners out there, and then some people will interview as we meet. But yeah, like you said, we're kind of just in a situation right now where we got back from Thailand. There's some work that needs to be done on the vehicle, so doing that. We're just basically getting everything set up so we can move into the next phase of the
Right.
podcast, the coffee, and several other things in our lives. So thanks for bearing with us. But it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like.
Yeah. I mean,
it's only going to get
that's
better.
why we're even trying to make money, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound good, but we need some sort of money to improve our podcast quality. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying we're gonna have expensive equipment, expensive studio, like MTV style crazy shit. That's what I'm talking about. But we need some sort of funds to make improvements.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
And I think the way that we're currently doing the podcast, while from the
Yeah.
outside some episodes may seem a bit more incoherent than others,
yeah.
but this is part of the process of kind of learning and finding our style.
Yeah.
And we definitely take people's feedback very seriously and try to incorporate any of the criticisms
Yeah.
to resolve those issues. But I think from the get-go, we want this to be more loose form, conversational.
Yeah.
We're discussing ideas. Yeah, we do some homework and things beforehand just so we're not miscommunicating or, sharing incorrect information.
Right.
But a lot of these other podcasts, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's other podcasts I listen to where it's obvious a fair amount of it's scripted. They're reading off a script, and you don't really get that organic feeling from some of those people. And
Yeah.
again, I don't think that's necessarily
Bad.
wrong or
Right.
bad, but that doesn't speak to me in the way I want to communicate. I want to communicate just like, hey, my friend's sitting across from me. This is how I would talk to you.
Yeah.
Anybody who sees us on this camera and through these podcasts,
Yeah.
this is who we are in real life. Like, a hundredfold.
Yeah,
You
true.
get what you get. You see what you see. There's no difference.
Yeah.
And I think the closer we are to being that person in all circumstances, the better we're able to truly express ourselves and be understood, in turn be understood by others.
Yeah. Again, like I said, I think the best way to really communicate in any settings and with anybody is to be genuine, right? That's what we're trying to be. Again, we're not perfect because
Speak for yourself.
but at least that's our aim, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, I spent over 10 minutes just talking about that. But I was gonna just say that that's why I think Joe Rogan's podcast is so popular, because it's not, you know, it's not staged. There's no script. You know, I think that's, even though it's like 2-3 hours, like it flies by. You know,
It does. It goes really quick because people are having interesting conversations. They're not talking about purely their bullet points like, oh yeah, we got through that subject, let's move on. They go on tangents. They talk about random things that are totally unrelatable in some circumstances, but you get a sense that you're having you're sitting in on an authentic conversation with two people. And yeah, I don't think you can authentically,
as much as it can get, right?
Yes, as much as you can. I don't think anybody can authentically replicate that if they go in there thinking like, well, let's just have an authentic conversation. Like, that authentic conversation takes many different forms based on who you are and who you're with. So this is
why
like,
they're there.
Yeah,
right? And
and
also,
and he's been doing it for a long time. Like, go back and look some of the old episodes. You'd be like, wow, this dude's a fucking idiot. Yeah, I mean, we're idiots too.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, don't get you wrong, we're educated in some specific areas. And
but at some point in our lives, we're all idiots.
Yes,
you know?
I'm an idiot still in a lot of regards.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
What do you say? Hurt my feelings? He said I'm an idiot.
We make progress. We talked about this earlier, that, you know, your set of truths, and your values continue to change. You progress, you know?
I poured coffee in my hair.
You did? Oh, man.
But you're right. Yeah, the ideas shift and change as you get more experience and more opinions.
I know this is going to upset some people who are listening to this, that there's no, basically, those who think that there are absolute truths. And I'm not saying, okay, that's a really controversial subject that even for me, but one thing that I know is that truth can change.
Yeah.
For sure. And then for your values, it can change.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no progress. There is no advancement in your ideas. You're isolated. You know, I'm sure a certain set of values don't change. You know, very fundamental stuff. And I'm not saying all fundamental stuff never change, but some fundamental stuff may not change. That's what I'm saying. You know, but there are certain values that I shouldn't say meant to be changed, but it should change.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, again, you're isolated. You know, you're not being enlightened. You know.
Yeah. And I think there's a real power in just the belief that things can change. If you truly believe that things can change and have the potential to change, then suddenly you start kind of reorganizing your ideas and thoughts around your values and your systems. Like, okay, well, you know, maybe I value... let's see here. Let's try to do something not very controversial. Maybe I value eating meat.
Right.
I value it strongly. I say
that's
this cannot change.
too.
Is that? I don't know. It's controversial,
You're gonna upset
man.
a lot of vegetarians here.
Oh man, I'm sorry. Well, actually, I was gonna say in their benefit. Like, if I'm somebody who says I identify as a meat eater, this is part of my identity, constitutes who I am, and it cannot change, then you might never ever know. Like, oh shit, look at all these other vegetarian options that are not only great for me, delicious, healthy environment, blah blah blah, have all these other benefits, but you know, maybe the meat you're eating actually had some genetic problem with you. Like, you have some genetic issue with meat that you're totally unaware of.
Yeah, that's a really good practical example. But I think also that, you know, to your point,
I eat meat.
That kind of attitude makes you more open-minded. You're more flexible, you know, which means that you're not, which is kind of, you know, antithesis to bigoted. You know, close-minded. You know, So, otherwise, why do you even have conversation with anybody? Why? Because you're not gonna listen to them.
That's a good point.
You know. But when I talk to people, even though I have really firm, opinions and set of values, for sure, yeah, I'm not gonna say that I don't have those, but at least I'm open-minded.
Yeah.
I'm willing to change my opinion and beliefs and values
Yeah.
if you can convince me.
Yeah.
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 And then that can be only done through really speculative spirits. Otherwise you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which leads us to today's
Dun,
topic.
dun, dun.
15 minutes in.
Sorry, free version guys.
You only have 4 minutes left.
We
We
got to
haven't
rush.
started our subject today. Yeah, which leads us to our topic today, which is philosophy. Yeah.
We're going to talk about philosophy.
Yeah, one of our greatest passions, I would say.
By far the biggest intellectual passion I have,
Yeah, for sure.
hands down,
Mm-hmm.
intellectually speaking.
So we're very excited. But you have only 3.5 minutes left for free listeners. If you want to listen to the rest of our discussion, please
There's the hook. There's the bait. You gonna take it or what?
subscribe to our Patreon, which is patreon.com/the theory of living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Currently, we have 5 Patreons, by the way.
Yeah, and
mostly
for
family members.
hey,
Not even family. All of the family members, actually.
well, that's because everybody that subscribes we consider family.
Yeah, but okay. To be fair, though, we never asked them.
Yeah.
Because we thought that. We really want to grow this organically. Now the 5 seems a lot, but if we have 1,000, 2,000, the 5 is nothing, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
eventually, it doesn't even matter whether
Yeah.
or not they help us,
Yeah.
right? I really appreciate them, of course, but that's why we didn't even ask them. The friends. and all.
Yeah. Well, also, again, anybody that subscribes to this, or you hit the like, or you comment, or whatever, we're just appreciative that you're engaging
Mm-hmm.
with what we're putting out there, even
Yeah.
if you think we're idiots, even if you know it to be true.
Right. So let's move on because we only have 2.5 minutes for the free listeners. We're going to talk about philosophy today. Where do we start, man? Where do we start?
Some would say the beginning, but I think that'd be stupid. You never start at the beginning.
How about we start with our own experience? Yeah? I think, I can recall a lot of moments in my life, but I think the first very relevant moment in my life was I actually talked about this when we did a theory of us, I think,
Episode 8.
or epistemology, or one of them. But that was the first moment that I really took an action with my kind of passion. I was like 3rd grade or 2nd grade, something like that, and then I had this coupon for a bookstore, which was equivalent to like $2, something like that. But you could buy a book by then. So I went to a bookstore and then I chose epistemology. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was not epistemology. It was
Study of words, right?
Yes. History. What was the name that I told you?
Hang on a second here. It's coming to me.
I already forgot. But it was, I think, it was about history, the subject of history. So basically, he was arguing that the common debate that we're having today, still today, whether or not history could be subjective, objective, how one historian should write history and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So that was probably like the first action that I took for my intellectual curiosity. Yeah. Which is not crazy, like irrelevant, completely relevant to philosophy, That's
No,
why I chose that
not
moment.
at all. Not at all.
And then it was like I said, I was like 10 years old, something like that. I was pretty young, so.
Yeah. I don't remember necessarily my first engagement with philosophy, but I read, like I said, grew up Christian, read the Bible a lot, and I always found singular verses and things of that nature, like words, basically. Words had heavy meaning and impact on me. So even like motivational quotes or all those types of things. But typically they came from the Bible for me, just because that's what I had the most access to. And there was tidbits of like truth revealed to me in those passages, which is ironic, right? Because we were just, again, not a last episode necessarily shitting on Christianity, but pointing out a lot of the fatalistic flaws that it has. But for me, I could still find truth in those things. And so slowly but surely, I just kept looking for more people that had access to truth and want to find the truth. And it was nice because philosophers typically were trying to give me a truth or give people a truth without a grand narrative, it seemed like. They were just like, this is kind of like my best idea of how it works. And that's how I felt. Even reading that, and of course there's some philosophers where you feel like, wow, they're pretentious and they think they have it all figured out. But on average, I found most things I read and people I read were approaching it from the point of, I think I'm wrong, but this is what I've come up with. And I really got a sense of, wow, they're very humble in their approach here. They're taking a very level-headed approach. And so I think that part really intrigued me. And the first philosopher started it all for me by far was Socrates. Yeah. You know, just asking why. I was like, who is this guy? Because I'm curious. That's what I'm asking about everything. In my mind. I may not vocalize or verbalize it to people, but I was always asking why. Here it is, this guy, you know, asking everybody why, to the point that he was even sentenced to death for corrupting the youth, right? And then defying the gods, I guess. There was a more specific terminology for that, but corrupting the youth were the charges brought against him. And then he defended himself. And he threw it basically purposefully, because he was like, fuck you, basically. And then he was charged with committing suicide via drinking hemlock, and all his friends were like, you know, don't do this. We can get you out. We can get you to safety. You're going to be exiled, whatever. But no, it's like, why should I be afraid of death? It might be the best thing for me. I've never experienced it, so why are we arriving to the conclusion it's bad? You know, look at this human arrogance. This thing I know nothing about, I've already put as bad. You know?
And then that kind of spirit captured you.
Oh my goodness, totally captured me. I'm still captured by that idea. It's like, is this actually anything? And you come into it open-minded with open eyes and just let the experience happen and then arrive to an opinion afterwards. But you should never arrive to an opinion beforehand. Then you're setting yourself up for failure potentially. I think in a lot of situations.
Or even potentially corrupt your experience.
Dude. Yes. How many times, even yesterday, so we went to go see Thor. And we're getting back on movies.
We have a lot of things to say about that.
But just saying, like, you didn't want to know the movie review score, right?
I didn't want to.
Who wants to know that? Because I can formulate my own thoughts and my ideas and opinions about it. And then I'll find out afterwards.
But even if we know that, and if we watch a movie knowing the critics' reviews and scores prior to the movie, even slightly you get affected by it, you know? So I don't like that. I wanna enjoy fully on my own. You know, that's why I don't want to hear it. I don't want to nothing. And that's why, you know, we sometimes, it happened to be our scores were comparable to, you know, public score on this one, at least, but the Matrix one was not.
So far from it.
But anyway, we're 25 minutes in, almost. And
our free version is over. Get out of here, you freebies. I didn't even realize you're still in here. Get out. Okay. Back to the page.
Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you next week. Bye.